Mexican dinner, chalupas, enchiladas, tamales, fajitas, chili con queso, rice, beans. Had all this food. When it came out, it smelled so good, I could almost taste it. But once again, I heard something whispering, Joel, you better not eat this. This is not a good idea. I thought, get behind me, Satan. This is a good idea. I ate and ate and ate. A few minutes later, I was out on the track. The coach said, today we're going to run 18 440-yard sprints. Not jogging, but sprinting. On my fourth sprint, I started feeling dizzy, nauseated, sick to my stomach. I went over, Coach, I can't run anymore. He looked at me and said, you don't have a choice. You have to run. I wanted to cast the devil out of him too. I was so miserable. I'd run a little while, throw up. Run a little while, same thing. The funny thing, when I was eating that Mexican food, I never thought about later on. My flesh never once said, later on, this is going to be a problem, bro. It tastes good going down, but it's not going to taste so good coming back up. All my flesh told me was, give me Mexican food. Give it to me now. Don't make me wait. The Spirit was trying to warn me. God was saying, in effect, you better stay away from Mama Nympha's today. Go down there to Subway, get something easy, something light. Here's my point. Your feelings will tell you what you want, but that doesn't mean that's what's best for you. Your feelings will tell you they hurt you. Hold a grudge. Live bitter. The same time you'll hear a still small voice whispering, let it go. Forgive. Let God be your vindicator. The flesh and the Spirit are constantly at odds. You get to choose who's the boss. Nobody can make this decision for you. We can encourage you, cheer you on, tell you that you have what it takes. But only you can make the decision, I am not going to live at this surface level. I'm not going to let the flesh control my life. Taking the easy way out, I'm going to dig my heels in. Instead of letting my feelings rule me, I'm going to start ruling over my feelings. You've heard little kids use the phrase, you're not the boss of me. Next time your flesh tell you, compromise, get upset, give in to temptation, just answer back, you're not the boss of me. I am not living on that surface level. I'm going deeper. I'm going to become all God created me to be. Paul said in Galatians, if you sow to the flesh, you will reap decay, ruin, and destruction. But if you sow to the Spirit, you will reap life and life eternal. Notice, when you do the right thing when it's hard, when you sow to the Spirit, you're going to reap blessings, favor, increase. Not only eternal life, but abundant life here on this earth. But when we give in to our natural, carnal desires, keep doing what we feel. I feel like being lazy, I'm going to be lazy. I feel like compromising, I'm going to give in to this temptation. I feel like staying up all night watching television. When we sow to the flesh, we won't reap anything good. But when you discipline yourself to take the high road, to say no to your feelings, you are sowing to the Spirit. It may not happen overnight, but if you'll keep making those choices, you will come in to a great harvest. Romans talks about those who follow the dictates of the flesh. That's saying the flesh wants to be a dictator. The flesh wants to control your life. What does a dictator do? Tells you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. They make all the decisions. You just sit back and follow the orders. In other words, you get stuck in traffic. Your flesh tells you, get upset, be stressed out. So many people follow the dictates of the flesh. Just like a good soldier, when they hear those orders, yes, sir, right away, sir, they get upset, go through the day stressed out. Or you wake up in the morning, your feelings may tell you you're depressed. Nothing good is in your future, feel lousy. Some people get on board. They go around depressed, no passion. You say, Joel, I can't help what I feel. I'm not asking you to not feel anything. That's not reality. God made us as emotional beings. All through the day, you will feel things, but just because you feel it doesn't mean you should act on it. David said, be angry and sin not. You may feel the emotion of anger. That's okay. Just don't act on it. Don't fly off the handle. You may feel offended. Just don't give in. I'm not getting on board with those feelings. Or you may feel tempted to compromise. So strong, you don't see how you could control it. But God wouldn't ask us to feel something and not give in if we couldn't do it. Yes, the feelings are real, but you have to ask yourself, is what I'm feeling going to move me toward my destiny? Is it going to help me improve? Or is it just my natural fleshly desires that are going to keep me from rising higher? Who's the boss, you or your feelings? Are you going to let the flesh stay on the throne, be the dictator? My flesh said, get upset, so I got upset. My flesh said, don't clean the house, so I didn't clean the house this week, this month, this year. My flesh said, hook up with this other person, and so I kind of messed up in my relationship. Living by what we feel is a very shallow way to live. I'm asking you to dethrone the flesh. It's time to have a change in authority. You've seen how in foreign countries, when they have a dictator that's very oppressive, pushing the people down, they can't vote him out of the office. They don't have a democracy. They have to take drastic measures. They rise up and overthrow the dictator. They forcefully throw him out of office. In the same way, your flesh wants to rule your life, wants to stay in control, tell you how to feel, lead you down the wrong path. Let me warn you, it's not going to go down easily. When you don't give it what it wants, it's going to throw a fit, get upset. You have to dig your heels in, be determined, and say enough is enough. Flesh, you're not the boss of me anymore. Feelings, you are not going to rule my life. I am taking you off the throne. From now on, I'm going to start being ruled by the Spirit. See, the Apostle Paul said, I die daily. He was saying every day I have to say no to my flesh. Every day I have to take my feelings off the throne. This is not something that we do one time and then we're done. It's an ongoing process. Paul wrote over half of the New Testament. He's one of the great heroes of faith, yet he still had to deal with his flesh. You never get to the point where you're so mature, you're so spiritual, you don't have any of these fleshly, carnal desires. Like Paul, every day we have to learn to say no to certain feelings. One time my father had a disagreement with my mother, and it was really no big deal, but my father was put out over it. He knew the right thing to do was just to let it go and move forward, but he felt like being offended. He felt like feeling sorry for himself.